Hello, everyone. Welcome to Couchtalk. Today, I want to talk about what is Keto-Green anyway. I get so many questions. What does Keto-Green mean? Can I go Keto-Green? I've had issues with hypoglycemia all my life. Should I do Keto-Green? What do you mean by the Keto-Green plate? How does it differ from the ketogenic diet? How does it help hormonal symptoms? And the questions go on. And so I want to discuss some of those questions today and talk about what Keto-Green actually is and what it means to you. What we've seen, what I've seen as I discovered it myself as I was going through perimenopause and needed to stop the destruction that was happening to my body, including the unreasonable weight gain, right? That 5, 10, 20 pounds overnight, despite not doing anything different, right? So I would say that when my patients would tell me that, I'd be kind of skeptical. But then when it happened to me, sure enough, without doing anything different, the changes in perimenopause with hormonal fluctuations can create quite some destructive side effects, including hot flashes, memory loss, brain fog, irritability, anxiety, sleeplessness, night sweats, and the list goes on. And that's why, I discovered and figured out how to make ketogenic plan work for me to balance hormones with the key components of alkalinity, getting our body nourished and in a healthy, natural, peaceful state in so many ways, and adding in the benefits of ketosis. And that from there birthed my Keto-Green way, which I write about in my book, The Hormone Fix. The Hormone Fix is an USA Today bestseller, a national bestseller, still #1 on Amazon for menopause, and has been in women's health. It has been #1 in textbooks. I mean, you just name it. And that's been going on for the past 3-4 months now since it's been released in February of this year. So really pleased to share that with you. So let's go into it. What is Keto-Green? Let's start there. And we'll start with that concept of how we ourselves can get Keto-Green and what that looks like. So first, Keto-Green means getting our body into a state of ketosis and working to get our body nourished so that our urine pH is alkaline. And what does that mean when our urine pH is alkaline? Well, research has shown that having a urine pH of 7 or better on average, so 7, 7.5 on average, what we see are healthy bones. We see decrease in metabolic syndrome and diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, inflammatory disease, aches and pains. And really what we've seen in our community, our Keto-Green community and my Magic Menopause community, are improvement in symptoms all the way around. In as little as 10 days, we've seen over 90% improvement in symptoms with over 57% reduction in symptom scores in just 10 days, So that's been really excellent. So ketosis, when I talk about the keto part of the Keto-Green, that is, so for the alkaline part of Keto-Green, alkalinity, we think living in nature. Think of the Amazon jungle. Think of, sipping sparkling water, listening to the waterfall, lush greens around you, or hiking through nature, the woods, the mountains, sitting out on the beach. So alkalinizing, stress-reducing environments that nourish your body in so many ways, and including which we get a lot out of nature, right? We get more than vitamin D from the sun, and we get a lot of just grounding and healing energy from nature as well. But foods that are alkalinizing are all our vegetables and pretty much all our fruits. Now, in our Keto-Green way, I don't allow very much fruits, although seasonally and feasting days, you're welcome to indulge, because sugar is sugar. Yet there are many antioxidants and benefits of fruits. And so I'll share some of that. I share that in my book as well. Now, alkalinizing vegetables, all your greens, and for the keto alkaline, we want to stay low carbohydrate. So low sugar, low carbohydrate. And what does that mean? So all our dark leafy greens, from collards and kale and beet greens. Beet greens are one of my favorite alkalinizing vegetables. Whenever I'm having trouble, I'm acidic, I will saute up some amazing beet greens, and that helps right away. So those are certainly great ways, great things to add on a daily basis into our diet. Herbs like maca are very alkalinizing. Turmeric and sprouts like broccoli sprouts and are part of the Keto-Green way, as well as avocado. Now, the ketosis part, because you hear keto everywhere, right? And the ketosis part really comes from the concepts of the ketogenic diet, but more so getting our body into ketosis, using fat for fuel, producing ketones to use. Ketones cross our blood-brain barrier. Now, this is critical as we're aging because our brain is using glucose for fuel or ketones for fuel, right? So we want to, and ketones are, think of glucose is to gasoline as ketones are to jet fuel. So if we think of it that way, we want to use that jet fuel, really highly productive, boosting, energetic fuel source that's pretty powerful. And that's important in order to get our body into a state of ketosis, especially as we're getting older and less metabolically efficient. We've got to exercise our ketosis muscle. So low carbohydrates, higher fats, but healthy fats, your salmon, your avocado, your olive oil, your nuts, your seeds, your olives. I mean, those are excellent additions to your diet on a daily basis. So we start thinking that way. Healthy fats, healthy protein, high quality protein, ideally free range, natural sources, and then lots of greens. So greens add fiber, they add alkalinizers, they're loaded with nutrients to help support detoxification as well. And that's critical to healthy hormone balance. So getting Keto-Green helps with hormonal balance. A typical Keto-Green plate, I get that question often. So what is a typical Keto-Green plate? I'll give you a few examples. Think of smoked salmon with capers, sliced red onions with sauteed spinach. Beautiful Keto-Green plate. And think of a roasted chicken. You could do your Instapot chicken. I have several of these recipes on my website at dranna.com. So we have a crock pot chicken recipe. So you could crock pot very easy, prepare it in 15 minutes and add in some vegetables. You can add mushrooms. You can add Brussels sprouts, you can add squash, and onions are one of my favorite, as well as adding garlic and herbs. So turmeric, cumin, cracked pepper, poivre aromatique, and Himalayan sea salt for seasoning options. And serve that alongside of, guess what? Greens. Greens are vegetables of choice that are low carbohydrate. You could do sliced eggplant, but you could saute up some greens or have a green salad or vegetable salad to go alongside of it. For example, tabbouleh, but instead of using cracked wheat to make tabbouleh, you could use cauliflower rice, or I started chopping up broccoli sprouts because that adds a little texture to the tabbouleh, and add that in with the parsley, tomato, lemon juice, olive oil, garlic, and onions. And it's an amazing alkalinizing, detoxifying, and also parsley is a natural diuretic. So that's a perfect side. So you start thinking when you're making a plate, many times ketogenic plates don't look very healthy or balanced. So you've got to do that conscientiously, and it's a discipline and a practice, but it's really important. So another question that I get very often is, how do I know if I'm doing this right? So I say test, don't guess. Check your urinary pH and ketones. It costs pennies a day. I did create urine pH and ketone strips. Again, I want to make things simple for me. And where there have been no solutions or no answers, that's one thing that I'm committed to creating, continue to create easy, simple, natural solutions. So check your urine pH, but you can get pH paper anywhere. Any pharmacy, it's Hydrium pH paper, and check your urine pH. Also check ketones to get into the state of ketosis. So in my book, I talk about how we can really push you into the state of ketosis. We stop snacking so we can start becoming more insulin sensitive, as well as increasing the duration of our intermittent fast, typically from 13 to 15 hours, and then periodic whole day fast. And that will start exercising your ketogenic muscle, getting into the state of ketosis. And in my book, I go through reasons why you may not be getting there. And that's important to do that detective work and see. If you always feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm not getting results, then there's typically something else that has to be discovered. So I encourage you to read my book, The Hormone Fix, to dig deeper into that. Now, another question I get, I had a client write in on my Keto-Green Community page. Actually, I'm going to share this right now. I have my Keto-Green Community page on Facebook, and it's a great community. Let me tell you, we have over 5,000 people, and you can just join. There'll be a button up here to join the community group. We ask a couple questions and provide community guidelines because we want this to be a nourishing, amazing state, an amazing place where people can feel comfortable asking questions. So this question came in and I loved it. So Paige wrote in, she said, "Good morning. My wife and I are following the 10-day startup pretty faithfully. She's in the throes of menopause and having terrible hot flashes. I'm thankfully beyond all that. At day 3, I've already dropped 4 pounds, but she's put on 3. Has anyone experienced weight fluctuation at the beginning? It's a little discouraging, but thanks for the input." And our community here has gone through and helped to answer. There's many great suggestions in here, but typically what I see in a conversation like this, when this is happening, typically what I see is that there's a food sensitivity. So Paige, your wife is probably eating something that her body is sensitive to or having an allergy to. And another issue could be that she's not digesting or getting too many calories from fat, getting too much fat and too much protein, which could also keep her from getting into ketosis, which could keep her from losing weight. But the weight gain, typically what I see is a food sensitivity and or just too much of the healthy fat. When we start, even if it's healthy, we can have too much of a good thing. And so again, gradually working to transition can make a big difference. So that was a good question. We have some more here in the Keto-Green Community group. Let me share some of these other ones with you. A question, Cindy, and I'll share these too. Cindy Siptak, hopefully I said that name right, said, "Is there a reason for the morning water drink to be warm?" So in my book, The Hormone Fix, I recommend drinking a tall glass of water when you wake up because you want to rehydrate right away. And this will not take you out of a fasting state. This will not interfere with fasting. You can use a squirt of lemon juice, like a half to a teaspoon of lemon juice, a teaspoon to a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I like the unfiltered organic apple cider vinegar, or Bragg's apple cider vinegar is one of my favorites. And if you've been consistently acidic, add in an eighth to a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Stir that up and drink it up. And that will be an alkalinizing way to start your day and boost your body to help with digestion, etc. So Cindy wrote here, "I prefer cold taste, but didn't know the significance of the water being warm. And if so, does room temp count as warm?" Yes, room temp counts as warm. I don't like you to put ice in. I don't like you to drink ice water or any icy cold drinks first thing in the morning because that does constrict blood vessels. And room temperature seems to help with absorption and digestion better. So that's the reason for that. But do and figure out what's working best for you. Lori here wrote, she said, "I am confused about the Keto-Green shake and the keto alkalinizing shake." That's a great question, Lori. I created a new shake this year, chocolate flavor, and it's called the Keto-Green shake. It has nuts and seeds in the combination of the rice pea protein blend. So it's a vegan protein blend, but it has nuts and seeds. So it has sunflower seeds, it has pumpkin seeds, it has, just a tremendous amount of really nourishing ingredients to support phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, including some grains, including some enzymes, as well as MCT oil to add some extra healthy fat in there, and chocolate flavor, which is something that I really wanted to put in there. So in addition to the sunflower seeds, the sesame seeds, the pumpkin seeds, and the rice pea protein blend, there's some healthy fats, healthy grains, phase 1 and phase 2 detoxifying nutrients that can really help you. Now, also, it is 0 grams of sugar. It is 2 Weight Watchers points if you've ever measured Weight Watchers. And each scoop is 14 grams of protein. They also come in individual packets. One packet is equivalent to 1 scoop of my Keto-Green shake. My keto alkalinizing shake, which I have had and used in my clinic and my practice and online now for almost 8 years, is also 0 grams of sugar. Both the Keto-Green and keto alkaline shake have a little bit of monk fruit sweetener in there, but the keto alkalinizing shake has additional phase 1 and phase 2 detoxifiers in there, and again, very nutritious. It's a vanilla flavor. And that one's been around for a long time, helping our ladies. And yes, men can drink these shakes. Men can eat Mighty Maca. Kids, we have kids as young as 2 years old drinking Mighty Maca, and sports teams drinking it, as well as world athletes, Olympic athletes drinking Mighty Maca. And so that's been really, really supportive. Again, that my story probably by now about Mighty Maca and how I created it, and more of that information's on my website, but that was stemmed from my own healing journey. So those were some of the questions that I got. Let's see here. We also, in our KetoGreen community group, will poll our audience and ask specific, polls, see what's going on. We've asked a poll in here about keto crotch, and 95 no's with 5 yeses that have experienced it. And then there's another 28 that never heard of it. So that's great. Let's see here. Cindy asked, is bone broth protein powder along with Mighty Maca an acceptable substitute for use in the KetoGreen community? And in my book, I talk about starting your day with a Keto-Green shake. And so you can use my Keto-Green protein powder, definitely bone broth protein powder, collagen protein powder. Those are all great options. You want to look, I typically know that dairy is a big sensitivity. So I pretty much eliminate dairy in my 10-day program in my book, as well as in my Breeze Through Menopause program. And so we try to avoid whey proteins too. So that's one of the things that, unless you know that you absolutely have no sensitivity and you're doing great with whey protein, pretty much avoid it. And it's not a bad idea to take a break from it anyway for 10 days. So using any protein powder that is 0 gram sugar or less than 5 grams of sugar, certainly we really want to stay low carb, especially in the morning. Have a little bit of carbs in the evening. That's when I try to enjoy a Keto-Green dessert of some sort and enjoy the carbs in the evening. But in the daytime, especially when you're breaking fast, to try to really avoid the carbohydrates in general. Well, these are some of the questions that I get in the KetoGreen community group, and I love that. I love that there's questions here, and so many people shoot in and answer. I want to answer this other question, and this is from Regina, and she says, I'm planning to start the 10-day KetoGreen detox tomorrow. I do pretty well being alkaline most of the time. I have a couple questions. And Regina asks, I have had issues with low blood sugar all of my life. Should I make any adjustments to the meal plan to help with that? And that's a question I get so often about hypoglycemia. Let me tell you, if you're following the Keto-Green diet, the Keto-Green plate, and you're looking at what healthy fats, and you're nourishing your body, you're exercising to get no snacking in between meals, and you're exercising the practice of not snacking between meals. And that's what I mean by that you will start to feel better, and hypoglycemia symptoms, even if you've had them all your life, will diminish and disappear. And I can guarantee you it, but go slow, knowing that you've had low blood sugar issues during your life, and think, I need healthy fats, healthy protein, lots of good greens and fiber that's going to help decrease any glucose that enters the bloodstream. But what happens when you're getting low blood sugar, typically from a carbohydrate-laden meal, your glucose shoots up, your insulin shoots up to take care of glucose and, and put it where it needs to go, essentially. However, if you become more insulin resistant or the higher up insulin shoots, in order to address the amount of glucose that is circulating in your system, the lower your blood sugar will go. So we want to stabilize those peaks and valleys throughout the day. And the menu plan in my book, The Hormone Fix, as well as in my Breeze Through Menopause program, will help you do that. So just go slow, listen to your body. And if you're feeling a little bit of hypoglycemic, think of a slice of avocado. Maybe you can do some coconut yogurt, something that's going to have a slow, steady reaction to your body. And another thing too is increasing essential fatty acids, omega-3, taking an omega-3 supplement with your meal. That helps tremendously. That's helped so many of my patients with histories of hypoglycemia as well. And then the question from Regina, her second question is the Mighty Maca Plus for women only, or can men take it also? Yes, men, children, just name it. It is really safe. And we've been using it in practice since 2009. And now we have physicians around the world recommending it. But again, everyone is unique. So try it. If for whatever reason it doesn't agree with you, you know that you can always send it back to our company and we will refund you. So that's the benefit. And the Mighty Maca, just the 30 plus superfoods in there that I've studied, researched, and combined in this way have been super beneficial. So I want to thank you guys for asking your questions and getting on here and being proactive in your health and in your life. And I encourage you to keep sending in your questions. Join us in the KetoGreen Community group. Email my team at drannakabeca.com. I'm going to be regularly adding in some cute question and answer calls to address some of your questions, your most common questions. Thank you all. And remember, with Couchtalk, this is a safe place for safe conversation. And it's a place where we can share what we're going through, share our struggles. And I hope you've been enjoying the experts that I bring on board weekly, as well as the conversations that go deep into all areas. I also want to thank you very much for rating and reviewing this podcast and sharing it with your friends. It means the world to me. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.